Welcome, welcome, welcome to an Impact Radio Show special. It's me, your girl Vanessa doing talk, Davis Frederick. Hey, Jacksons, in all surrounding area, we have a special interview for you today. Leading a lot of the revolutionary charges here in Northeast Florida is a friend of mine. Her name is April Nubian Roberts, and she is here to talk to us about Black Maternal Health Week. If you didn't know, you're about to find out. Welcome, Nubian.
Greetings. Thank you so much, Vanessa, my sister. I appreciate you so much for giving me some time and space today to talk about Black Maternal Health Week. Um, this is really something that truly feels like my assignment here. I've been blessed to be a doula for 11 years now. I've birthed over 12 babies. Aside from doing my nonprofit work, which has been very fulfilling, but I've realized now that God you know, has me elevating in this season to be more intentional in ensuring that all mothers, but mainly our Black mothers, are educated and advocated for and supported in this season. So, thank you so much for having me.
Girl, no problem. We thank God for divine providence, divine timing, and
Amen.
I'm so happy to have you here with me today. But first of all,
Oh,
what
I'm so happy to be here with you.
thank you. What is a doula? Like, what is that? Is it a midwife? What is that term?
So, a doula is very different from a midwife. So, our midwives are going to be the person who is doing the actual birthing of the baby. And midwives in our community go back as far as slavery. They didn't have a title then, but they were in charge of actually birthing the babies on the plantation, and normally without any type of educational skill building. It was just really off of instinct and practice of having to do it all the time because massa told you to. And there was always mostly elders who kind of led this, I would say, birthing activity, and then they taught it to the younger women as they were birthing themselves and also just being assistants. So the assistant of the midwife and the assistant of the mother is your doula. So the doula is there really to support the mom and also the dad nowadays when fathers are in the actual birthing
Mhm.
area with the moms. So we are that support for the moms. And that support usually starts, as soon as you want it. Like as soon as you get pregnant, you feel like, okay, this is my first baby. I have no idea what I am doing. You can call on a doula. You can hire a doula. You actually can get a doula if while you're receiving Medicaid benefits. You
Oh,
just have to make sure that you are signing up in the right medical group to ensure that you're able to have a doula paid for by Medicaid. And
right.
one of the truly important things about having a doula, especially in times like this, is you have someone who can advocate for you while you're dealing with the pains and the worry. Sometimes it's an anxious feeling that you feel when you're giving birth. Someone who can advocate for you, that you've already discussed what you would like your birthing experience to look like.
That is a beautiful, divine kind of role to sit in the gap as we welcome life into this world. So, what an interesting job description. Hopefully, people now know a little bit more about what the differences are and how important that is. And it's a great tidbit to know that you could actually get it paid for.
Yeah.
So, Black Maternal Health week. I you and I have had conversations about this before, but
Mhm.
why is this important? And I know I already know the answer, but go ahead and tell the people.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to send a shout out to Mayor Donna Deegan,
Yes.
who gave us a proclamation on April 10th declaring Black Maternal Health Week an actual thing. Because we know it needs to be a thing, but it hasn't always been a thing. The importance of us having an opportunity to really talk about Black maternal health, and assigning a week to it, is because right now in Jacksonville, we're failing miserably. We
Mm,
have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the whole state of Florida. Like, Jacksonville alone actually has higher numbers of deaths of mothers and infants than the state of Florida, which means that we are in crisis, y'all.
yes.
So it's important that, one, we let young mothers, we let all mothers, new mothers, know that this is a thing when you go to the hospital. Like, you may go in healthy, um, and not come out
Right.
if you don't advocate for yourself or have someone advocate for you. And we know in times like these, we have a lot of young mothers who are not supported by their families in having children and their partners. There's a lot of women giving birth alone. And when you're alone giving birth, it's probably one of the, I would say, one of the most indignified things that can happen to you, because you're at the mercy of the nurse or the doctor, and
Right.
depending on what they have in their heart is going to, basically give
Right.
you a good birth or a horrible experience.
Mm,
And I've had many opportunities to go advocate for folks at the hospital, um, just to, make ensure that they get the quality health that they need. A lot of times, I'll just say, like, a lot of times what I hear is, if your blood pressure spikes just a little bit abnormally, they will push a C-section on you.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that is happening because a C-section birth is going to basically be more expensive than a regular birth. If they can put you in a high risk pregnancy, they're going to
Mm,
get paid more money by delivering your baby than they would if it was a non risk pregnancy.
mm,
And we have to understand that pregnancy and birthing, it's really not a medical procedure. It is a natural thing that happens.
right.
Everyone really should be able to make a choice if they want to have their babies at home, if you want to lay outside by a tree and have your baby in nature. That
Oh
is
yeah.
really, yeah, that is really your decision. And women in third world countries are having births everywhere and anywhere, and they literally are not as at risk as we are going to the hospital, giving a lot of our control to doctors
Right.
to, basically decide how we birth our babies, what position we birth our babies. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't even know laying on your back is one of the worst ways
Yep.
to actually deliver your baby. Most of my births that were quick and easy were the ones that were in a squat, y'all. Just
Mm.
like our ancestors, they literally would squat in the field and have their babies.
So let's get into some of those choices. What are some of those black maternal choices? Because, some people may feel more, I don't know, safer in a hospital in that way if something were to go wrong. But, there's different opportunities there, especially if you have a team,
Mhm.
like a midwife and a doula to help you. You can, like you said, maybe give birth anywhere. You've got a team that's monitoring you and taking care of you. So, what are some of
Yeah.
those black maternal or maternal choices?
So let's just say this first. A midwife is trained to know if you are in a situation where you need to go to an hospital. If there is a C-section that has to be performed, they are able to assess that and get you there in enough time for that to happen. So let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
So the choices that you have, pretty simple. If you decide you want to have a natural birth, now you are in position to control where you want to have that baby, who you want to be a part of your birthing experience. You may want to bring your teenage daughter in there so that she can see for herself what birth is going to look like, which I
Mm-hmm.
have, witnessed as myself as being the best birth control that you could ever ask for, watching the baby come forth. And then it's also a beautiful time for your family to get closer together. It builds the family dynamic when we're all bringing life in together. We're all working together to ensure that mom is comfortable, dad is a part of it. Because there's nothing, I think, more demeaning than a man having to, first of all, he dropped the seed in you to make sure that this baby's gonna come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he is in a position in a natural environment where he can catch his own baby. You know what I'm saying? He could be a part of that birth, which strengthens your partnership in any way, whether you're married or y'all go together or y'all like each other a lot. Either way, it's going to strengthen that relationship because
Mm-hmm.
now you're working together and it's not just mom being the sole person who's having the baby. Mom feels super supported when her partner is there in the room and playing a part. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we as doulas, we do everything that we can to make sure that we are involving the fathers. You know what I'm saying? We're including them in decisions, we're including them in conversation, because we've gotten so far away from doing this together to where it's like, oh, it's the woman's choice. Oh, the woman carries the load. And when you start in that energy, you normally finish in that energy. So
Mm-hmm.
I think changing just the way that we as a people think about birthing is going to change the way that we actually parent our children. And that'll bring together a blessed union, whatever it looks like for you and how you decide. So that's one thing. In that natural spectrum, you have different ways that you can birth. We have something that I love, which is the water birth. Water birth, I'm going to tell y'all, I have birthed 5 children, and the water birth is my absolute favorite birth. Mater Princess, shout out to Princess Damali Roberts, my 28-year-old. She's a woman doing her thing in this world. And when she came in, she was doing her thing in this world with the water birth. I just remember being very calm, this being my first birth, me not really knowing much about water birth, but had the opportunity to do it in a hospital. Shout out to California because that's where I had her at Cedar Sinai Hospital in Beverly Hills. I was able to access a room that had a water birth tub in it. And Princess was able to come into the world in the water. She stayed.
Oh, look like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Give me a second to see if I can reach Nubian. Like I said, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully, I can reach her again.
I'm back. We just had like a slight interruption.
There you go. Welcome back.
Yeah.
So you were
So,
describing a water birth.
yeah. So, Princess had a water birth and she was able to be underwater for 10 minutes, which gave her like a calm and like calm way of entering into the world. And it was completely safe, y'all, because the umbilical cord is still connected, meaning that mom is the way that she's breathing. So I still to this day call her the Little Mermaid because she loves the water and she swims in the water all the time.
Aw.
Just a natural in the water. So that was a birth that was less traumatic for me because I was able to really basically push her into an environment that she was already in, because inside of the womb, they're inside of water. They're inside of the
Right.
fluid that's inside
Right.
of our belly. So that was a great experience for me myself. Then there's also other ways that you can birth in the home, different techniques that can be used that they don't use in the hospital. And then you also have the comfort of just being in your own environment, which makes you not anxious, because we know that when you at home, and you feel comfortable and you can, go in your own bathroom and do things the way you want to do them. You're in control of that birth. And everyone around you is just supporting whatever the vision is that you have decided before the birth to have. So that just puts a lot less stress on the situation. Um, so then, if you decide to go in the hospital, you're going to have to adhere to whatever it is that the hospital's rules are. And they'll be, checking you as many times as they feel that they want to. They'll be, giving you what they think you should have, or they'll impose what you got to remember, when you're in the hospital, you're on somebody's schedule.
Yep.
Like, that doctor is trying to get as many births in that day so that he can make as much money as possible for his family. But the
Mm-hmm.
midwife is going to take her time and let, the natural, we're not going to be, insisting that get your labor going faster. And if we do, we have techniques that will ask you, hey, do you feel comfortable doing this technique? Because it's proven that this might speed it up. Maybe we'll have you do a little more, know, changing of positions. And I know with me and the midwives that I work with, they have a lot of different
Tricks.
different things that you can do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To help with your energy. You can have teas and different things that at the hospital they're like, oh, you can't have any more food after the labor starts. Sometimes you might need to have something different than just ice to
Right.
just help push things along. Doesn't make it unhealthy. They just don't want to deal with you possibly having an accident on them. But if it's at your house, honey, baby, it's like, we'll clean it up. It's okay. It's natural.
Yep.
We not tripping.
Yep. Yep. Speaking of a community, what I am gathering is that, the time of pregnancy is super important for you to feel and be collaborative, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your medical team, checking on your health, whether it's, you hire a doula, you get yourself a good midwife and you make sure that you're able to afford those things. It's super important that you have a community. So you are building some community this weekend, starting with a march and then like a family kind of cookout situation happening on in the northwest corridor of Jacksonville. Tell us some more about the event.
So our Melon Mamas event, this is our fourth annual march. These marches kind of were inspired by me, who I'm an activist. I like being in community. I love a good protest. I love a good march in the streets. But I wanted to add more of like a New Orleans signature twang to it. After going to New Orleans and seeing the line band show out in the middle of the street, I was like, ooh, I want that in Jacksonville. So the Melanin March is going to be an opportunity for us to march in the streets to let other people know Black Maternal Health Week is happening. We put on our cutest little skirt outfits, whatever you feel comfortable in. We bring our babies in strollers. We get us some signs up saying how it feels to be a Black woman, whether it's a angry sign or a happy sign, because we know Black women have been feeding the whole nation since the
Hmm.
1800s. Like, we were breastfeeding other people's children. So we're expecting everyone to come out and show how much they love Black mamas. Because I promise you, if you really look into it DNA wise, it's going to lead back to the black woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's always a good time. Like we said, bringing the whole family out. Everybody needs to learn more about this, and then you'll have opportunities to hear more about choices. Maybe as a woman giving birth, you may not have felt you had many choices, and so you can kind of come out and commiserate and learn more about, what is advanced and what society is doing now. Traditionally, my mom was is from Africa, so we are well, versed in the breastfeeding, and back in the 80s, she was looked at kind of weird for breastfeeding, and now, everybody kind of understands just how important that is. So it's so great to see how things change. And maybe you have some horror stories. A lot of us black mamas do, but it's still important that, like the old midwives, that we pour into the new mothers, that we pour into the younger generation, and we say, hey, these things can happen. We're thankful that we've survived, and we're thankful to be here. And we want to teach you guys how we can continue to do better and save our little babies. Right?
Exactly. That sounds like the plan for us as a community.
So April 13th, 12:30, meet us down at Cafe Resistance. That is 5007 Sutel Drive. That's 5007 Sutel Drive in Jacksonville. Bring the kids, bring the men. This is not just about black women. This is about the entire community. Bring your neighbor, bring your friend, bring people who are interested in learning. It's a crisis right now. This is definitely a crisis, so we need all hands on deck to be interested and available. Nubian, is there anything else you want to leave the people with?
I just want to tell everyone that I truly love the community in Jacksonville, everyone in the community, and I look forward to seeing you all this Sunday. If you're a pregnant mom, we'll have some freebies and giveaways for you. We'll also be able to connect you with a great support system. So please, y'all, come on out. Free fun for everyone, and get this education around what's really happening in our community. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for giving me time and space. I just really appreciate you and your family and all the things that you do in the community. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Sunday.
Yes, we are looking forward to being in the place. Plenty of parking, great park across the street in case you need something else to do after the show or before the event. Come on out. We need to see your face. And look, it's a whole week. So even if Sunday isn't your jam, stay tuned, connect, and make sure you are learning more about Black maternal health. Thank you so much, April LaNubian Roberts, Miss April Roberts, my sister. Have a good rest of your day, sis. Peace.
Thank you. Peace.
All right. The recording is ending.